Skew is a prominent factor in our lives. The skewing nature of our choices creates the fundamental timeline of our life. Our decisions determine our present, which directly leads to and influences the future. In fact, the future grows out of the seeds planted in the present moment. The present is where decisions are made, which means the present moment is the only way to influence one's life. The only time one can make any change is in the present. The tall tree did not appear instantly. It originated from a time long ago in the past, an event long in the past. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Chinese proverb. Humans have to do a better job at making sustainable decisions if we intend on sustaining ourselves on Earth, our only source of nutrition. These are decisions that consider the continuation of life on Earth. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it ultimately does have to be good enough to stop committing destruction at unsustainable rates. This is not a fairy tale, this is real life, meaning there are real incentives to change, or else real consequences will be reaped. This means that we humans might need to do better than very barely trying. It means making genuine change in our actions. Humans have been around for hundreds of thousands of years, and within the last 50, humans have halved the populations of the oceans. That is mind-blowing and concerning. We have to stop destroying. If we've destroyed half of the populations in the oceans between 1970 to 2020, then we will surely destroy the remaining half if we continue with the same practices that destroyed the first half. With growing populations, our only chance is to begin adopting sustainable practices and implementing them into our lives immediately. This won't be overnight, and will require upfront regard in order to identify where one can begin making positive changes and alternatives, but it will only get easier with time and by growing accustomed. We must act on an individual level, as this is the only level which we have a say in. Through actions on an individual level, genuine change will sprout and continue on. Through actions on an individual level, one's actions will inspire others to learn from and adopt similar practices. Our actions will forever ripple into directions of sustainability if that is the intention and execution which we bring upon this earth. One cannot make the masses change their actions while not changing our own first, which is why we cannot concern ourselves with what the masses are doing. We must act on our own accord to make the impact we desire. The key to slowing the fire is to stop ourselves from burning so hot. Once we cool down, we can help those around us to cool down as well. Finding alternatives and adopting new methods will allow one to pass such wisdom on to those around them. Living such a lifestyle will cause one to radiate to their peers and kin the potentiality of such lifestyle, giving them the option to adopt the same practices, thus creating another individual who acts positively, who will then create their own chain reaction of ripples. When enough individuals begin making sustainable ripples, the movement will grow larger and more powerful. En masse, these ripples will begin turning into waves, changing movements of people, affecting change on a larger scale, laws, social stigmas, societal norms, and so on. The biggest difference one can make is in their daily routine. One does not need to create documentaries or get legislation passed to make a difference. Genuine individual change overpowers the lost hope of large-scale mass change. Sure, some individuals may feel driven to set into motion things such as documentaries and legislation, but without said individuals first adopting a similarly attuned lifestyle, they will not be credible or tangible advocates of such movements. One cannot wait for mass bills to pass to begin their change. They must change on their own accord. Find alternatives, adapt and evolve around and with the current systems first. Given the current state of technology and information, this is not a difficult task. Then, once their efforts, money and energy are going into alternative means, both societal systems and norms will slowly shift to match the gradually changing new standards set by the individuals. Most people do not act out of malice in their daily lives, but the greater systems above them are damaging, and therefore, though the individual's goal is not to destroy, it is the result. In the end, all that's left to face are the results. One's intention to buy and reuse a plastic bag is not a bad thing. However, some years later, as it floats through the ocean and a fish is caught in it, it becomes a bad thing. causing the exchange to yield a net negative that leads to a dead, moneyless, lifeless end.